Hi, welcome to the Ordinary Black Professionals. I'm Nicole,
And I'm Stefan.
and this week we're talking about lockdown tier 4,
The new tier,
the new tier.
the one that came out of nowhere, just round the corner.
Making things up now, isn't it?
Trust
Tier
me,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
trust me.
Yeah. So, as I'm sure many, if not all of you, are aware who live in the UK, London and the Southeast has been put into a new tier, tier 4, which is essentially it's lockdown
Yes, full lockdown. The rules are don't leave your house unless you got to go to work
or an emergency.
or an emergency, and that's it basically.
Yeah.
And there's a few more bits to it. Like you can
Non.
see one person in a park.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and you can go to exercise once a day or maybe as many times in a day as you like, but you can't meet anybody.
No, you can't meet anybody. All non-essential shops have closed, so
Hmm.
all kind of like closed shops have closed.
And this has all happened the week before Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, and the biggest one of all, you're not meant to meet up with anyone during on Christmas Day.
Yeah, this is gonna
Stay in your
be the rules
household.
throughout Christmas. So you just gotta sit here and that's it.
Just look at each other.
Yeah, from now through to Christmas, through to New Year, that's it. Like this is not good, but
Not good at all.
uh,
Not good at all. The news did not land well
mm,
in this household at all.
no,
Um, so we thought it would be good right now, especially since we are technically in this new tier 4 lockdown, to talk about our tips on how we've been able to work and live together in a small space this year.
yeah. To be fair, our house is not that small. It's not as I won't call it a small space, but
It's
it's just
two,
me and you in here.
it's
So
just me and you.
yeah,
It's just me and you. We don't have 10 rooms or anything like that. So it's
no,
only so far we can run from each other.
yeah,
So yeah, just to share some tips and talk about our experiences of what it's been like just being together for the majority of this year. And I can tell you now, it has not always been easy.
mm. It takes a toll, because we did lockdown earlier in the year. How many times have we done this full lockdown? Twice so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
Twice we've done this. Here we are, third time. This time it's got a new title, Tier 4. And yeah, it's just, I guess now we're pros at it because, you know, to be fair, there's other parts of the country like Leicester, they've been in lockdown a few times as well
Yeah.
for ages. So yeah, it's tough, but, you know, we've learned a few things, how to get by. Let's
Mm.
go into that.
Okay. So our first tip is try to create a list of activities that you want to do in your house or achieve.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a long list, but just something else to look at, just to focus on, you know?
Mm. Something
We,
to do, something to
yeah,
yes, it's something to do in your in your space,
yeah.
whatever that may be.
Because we have something to do because we work from home and we're lucky that we can do that. We've got our laptops and we're able to do that. But after work, normally you've got other things. You've got friends to meet,
Gym
work
to go to.
colleagues, gym to go to, commutes to sit on.
Mm.
But now it's like, oh, we're just locked in this one space. Your work area is your home area. It's draining.
Yeah.
So you got
Some
to look around your house and be like, what can I do around here? You
and
know what
it
I mean?
could be things like learning how to paint or tidying up your spare room.
Mm,
For us, it was kind of a few things. We've created a little pantry. That was
mm.
my summer lockdown activity to kind of sort out one of the storage rooms that we have and create it into, yeah, a little mini pantry.
Yeah,
We painted the decking in our garden.
yeah. We had to seal it a bit because it was getting a bit. The weather had taken its toll on the wood, so we had to give it a good sealant
Yeah,
and stuff. But that was a good activity as well. Was able to do that in the summer lockdown,
yeah.
and
And that was
yeah,
something for us to focus on.
yeah,
And I think that's what's so important when you're at home is to have some kind of activity that you can focus on. And it may be like, okay, it takes me 2 weeks to plan it, and then it takes me like another 2 weeks to do it. like something that's a bit more sizable and chunky. I
Mm.
know some people have like repainted their banisters and like done like
Yeah,
random things that they wouldn't have done normally. And obviously to do that, you have to strip down the paint,
yeah.
then you have to paint it. So it's like a real like physical kind of activity that you probably wouldn't normally do.
Maybe even if you've got kids, you can get them involved in something like that. They
Yeah.
can sand down the banister and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
get them improving the household rather than destroying it. You never know. Fortunately, over the lockdown, like DIY shops are still open because
Yeah.
they are what do they call
And
it?
then essential shop.
Essential shop. So you can still get paint and other materials like that.
Yeah, which kind of brings on to what we plan to do in this next. Well, now that we're in tier four, is to we've got a little small downstairs bathroom, and we plan to kind of paint that, don't we?
Yeah,
So
that's
that will
so
be
we
like
can
a
do
couple of weeks worth of activity.
a little painting, change the toilet seat. Um, I think as well it'd be good to get like a toilet roll holder,
Oh yeah,
you
because we
know.
don't have one at the moment.
Yeah, for that room, and yeah, just make it a bit nicer, a bit more comfortable. Maybe a few little rugs and stuff like that. Might
Mm.
have to get that for Amazon because ain't no sh you can't get you can get it in Asda maybe. You can
Oh
get a few
yeah,
things in
Asda has all sorts.
yeah, or Sainsbury's or
Tesco's,
yeah,
wherever.
because those shops are still open. And if in Wales they locked off some areas so you couldn't buy non-essential items
Tampons.
like
No, that's what they locked off, isn't it?
yeah,
What shop was it? Tesco's or Asda? They said
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, no. Women, you cannot get, tampons or,
If you
you
think
know,
that's essential, think again.
pads. Yeah, if you think that's what you need to go home and use a washcloth and some tissues. Um, that is 100% essential.
But if your shops are not being horrible and not doing something like that, then yeah, you can get bits and pieces there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you can get little rugs or mats and stuff like that that you need.
And then we plan to put up some pictures as well in our living room.
Mm,
And so, like, yeah, just have something you can try to focus on, like your little to-do list, whether it's big tasks or small tasks, just something at all to help us, or to help you kind of get through this period.
yeah.
The second tip is go virtual, go virtual, go virtual. Yes, we're all bored of Zoom.
Oh,
Yes, we're all bored of Teams. Yes, we're all bored of looking at our screens. But at the moment, virtual is the way that we connect with people. And there's different things that we've done with our friends that's kind of been a bit more creative than doing a quiz or jumping on a
you know
Zoom
what?
call and
I
just
am
talking.
sick of quizzes.
Yeah,
Sick.
don't invite me to no more.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. I don't need to do no more. I don't need to sit on the quiz. I don't know any of the answers, and you're asking me things like, I don't know, what's the significance of 1853? I don't know. I don't need to sit on the quiz and feel silly.
Yeah.
Feel like I've got no general knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, you can do little meetups with your friends and have chats. That's nice. You could do that on a video call or just a voice call.
Yeah,
Sometimes
you can.
video is a bit um
Tiring.
tiring.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
because you've always got to be in front of
Present.
the screen and present and interacting, and it doesn't feel as natural as it would like face to face.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
face to face, people aren't looking at you like that because, like, how you're sitting around a table, like one person talks and everybody's looking at that person. Nobody's looking at you at that particular time.
yeah.
Yeah, and you got your bitch face on at that point. You know what I mean? So,
And you can, yeah, that's a good point actually about it doesn't have to, even though I just said go virtual, go virtual, go virtual. If you're just having a general meetup and you don't want to kind of log onto your laptop, you can just take the call and go for a walk. I know a few people have done that at my workplace and they say that's been quite good to take, like, go on
mm,
a walk when you're on a call, whether it's a work one or a personal one.
I would love to be able to do that on my work calls. Most of my work calls require me like
Be at your screen.
I'm looking at my screen, I'm looking at,
Yeah, same.
taking notes and
I can't,
looking
yeah,
at systems at the same time or something like that. So,
yeah.
but yeah, that's a good idea.
But on the virtual calls, you've done virtual poker with your
Yeah,
friends.
yeah, yeah.
Just
We were
like,
playing poker online,
yeah,
and we didn't put real money in, but you can if you like to gamble and do that a bit. Well, Is it gambling?
Yeah,
You know?
yes.
Yeah. And yeah, play poker with some fake money, and it's totally free. Play it with your friends, play it with strangers.
It's just something to
Um,
do, isn't it?
yeah.
And I think that's like,
So what we did is we played poker online, and at the same time we had a call running, a Zoom call running when we're just talking to each other and saying,
yeah,
and so like
just like catching
a
up.
few of us, and we're just saying, what cards did you just play? Like, how did you do that, and etc.
Yeah,
You know?
because I think sometimes when you've, I don't know, I don't know. For me, it feels like you're getting to a point where you've exhausted all options. So you're looking for something like fresh and new to do as you're moving into, another lockdown. So you need to find something else. And another thing that we've done with our friends is like a virtual games night, and those have
Yeah,
been really good. So you can
yeah.
get little games that you can play online. I think there's like a virtual like Monopoly and what's the other one that we play?
Articulate.
That's it.
Yeah, we managed to play Articulate virtually. I didn't think it would work, but it did work.
Yeah,
One person had the board at their house, had all the pieces on it, and the camera pointed, and we were able to play it. And you can get you can, I think there's a Articulate have sent out a
like a
link
yeah,
where you can pick up cards
yeah,
online, and it will tell you, what the thing is.
yeah. And there's even games that we played where you'll need like ones that you can play on your phone. So everyone's like on this Zoom call and we're all playing like this game on our phone. And so there's different stuff that you can do out there than doing the traditional let's all jump on
Oh,
a call.
you're referring to Jackbox?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Jackbox, that's it. There's other things you can do and then like, oh, let's all jump on a call and talk, or oh, let's go and do a quiz because bore and bore. Especially when like that's the thing now. People ask me, oh, hey, how's it going? What's new? And it's just like there's nothing interesting really to say because not much is happening when you're,
Mm,
when you're just living during a global pandemic.
yeah. But one thing as well, just on the first point about like things you can do for your home. Um, in our first lockdown, we were able as well to get some builders in and do some
Oh yeah,
bits and pieces, just work around the house that you need done. I know a lot of people are doing that now because everybody's working from home. If you didn't work from home before, you've now got time to allow someone in and do some work. So the
yeah.
builders are very busy. If you want them, you better book them in
Book 'em.
advance
Try and find a builder. I
because,
dare you.
yeah,
It's hard.
yeah, they're doing very well right now. We can't leave our homes, but they can come into ours.
Yeah,
And that's just the rules. That's just how they work. So we managed to get our driveway done this year. So that was really good because
yeah,
it was a bit of a mess before.
yeah. It was something that we really needed to do. So there have been some benefits. The third tip I would say is continue your hobbies. So if you were always into reading or if you were always into exercise or playing video games, try to keep and continue those hobbies.
Yeah,
It's really, really important. It will help to create some structure to your day. I try to make sure that I exercise during my lunch break or after work, so I'm getting that fitness in and I'm continuing doing something that I enjoy. My reading though has dipped, like it hasn't been as good as it usually is because usually I read on my way to work, so I'm reading on the train, but now 'cause I don't have that commute time, I'm not reading as much, but I still try to make sure I get it in as much as I can.
yeah, yeah. And some people as well, they're missing the gym
Mm,
right now. And boy, I don't think you can really replace the gym personally, but there are some things that you can do. You can get a few weights. Sometimes it's hard, but you can get a few weights online,
hmm.
and you can use online. You can use video services like
Beachbody on Demand
Yeah,
is
Beachbody
one
on
that I
Demand.
use, and I've also signed up to Peloton, which
Yeah,
I just signed up over the weekend, and I was a little bit apprehensive, like, oh, is it really going to be that good? Not
is it?
too sure.
I thought it was going to be all about bikes.
Same. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm quite surprised. And the trainers on there, they're like hype men, like they've got so much energy. And having a look at the Peloton bikes, I'm now like, should I buy one? Should I buy a Peloton
I
bike?
mean. That was the whole point of having them having you sign up.
Yeah. Should I get this bike? And some like we don't even have a space to put it, but
Mm.
I'm trying to convince myself that I can make it work because I do love a spin bike and the trainers there look pretty good. But
And they
yeah,
have lots of stuff as well that doesn't need a bike, which surprised me. The exercise
same.
is just like Beachbody on demand,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was live as well.
Yeah, they have live ones. So yeah, it looked pretty,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
they're
pretty
actually
good.
they're exercising live, and you're in a like a room with them. I don't know if your camera's on or not.
No, your camera's not on.
Okay, and they're like calling your name as well. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah, because they can
welcome to
see
the
who's
room,"
joined. Yeah.
and yeah,
So it's like different stuff. If you just Google it and have a look, there's different stuff that you can do. And obviously, the two ones that I use, Peloton, Beachbody, they're not free, but they're not as much as the gym. I think Beachbody is like for the year, maybe like £120 or £180 for the year. So it's not that expensive.
mm,
And Peloton is like I think it's like £15 a month or something. So compared to a London gym membership, which could be 50 plus pounds, 80 plus pounds, it's a lot cheaper.
yeah,
So or you could just go onto
you might love
YouTube.
it.
You might love it, yeah. Like for me, it works for me. But then there's other, there's free activities on YouTube as well that people can use, so which may work for them. But
Yeah,
essentially, just continue your hobbies, continue doing things that you're interested in. And if you even want to pick up a new hobby, I mean, now there's so many subscription boxes. I heard on a podcast that there was like a subscription box for knitting, for learning how to knit and
yeah,
how
I've
to
heard about that.
crochet.
Yeah,
So if like that's your jam and you want to get into that, then maybe this is you've got a bit more time in your hands. This is your chance to do it.
and I also tag on to this one as well. There are some people that maybe it's not a hobby, or maybe it could be a hobby, but they want to develop new areas and do new things.
Mm,
There's some people over this last lockdown who have started YouTube channels and been very successful doing that,
yeah,
and or started new like Instagram pages and been very successful,
yeah,
or just built something new that they want to do, write a book, something along those lines
something, yeah,
that they wanted to do for all this time, and y- during normal working life pre-COVID, you would never really get the time to do that. You're always commuting. So much time is spent commuting.
so much
Oh my
time,
God.
so much time,
So
so
much
much
time
dead
is spent.
time.
You lose all that time. You get all that time back now. You're home. You can build a space where you can just focus on something that you want to do. If you replace that commuting time with time developing what you want to do, then hey, you never know what you could achieve.
Yeah, totally agree, totally agree. And like the reason we bring up this one is because when you're doing your hobby or you're learning something new, you're not spending as much time together. And it's important, I think, when if you're living with a friend or a group of people or your husband, boyfriend, your partner, whatever it is, in a when you're in during lockdown, you need to have that time apart. Because when you're just so up on top of each other, it's just not healthy. Like you're not meant to be with someone 24 hours a day. So you need to have that time when you do something separate, whether that's reading, exercising, crocheting, knitting, learning something new. You need that time apart, or else it just becomes too much.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's good to do those things. Even in the first list where we talked about doing something around the house, a lot of that you could do together, but you could also maybe do some of it yourself. You know,
Yeah,
I spent a lot of
exactly.
time in the garden in the summer lockdown, just mowing the lawn and looking after the garden, and that was just me spending time just doing something by myself, really,
Yeah, yeah.
some alone time.
And then the fourth one that I've got on here is cook. So I think this was definitely the case during the first lockdown. But let's remember that we can do it, in all the other lockdowns that we have in the future. Cook, bake, follow a recipe book, create something new and different. So I like cooking and baking anyway. So I made like banana bread, made sponge cake, well, Bayesian fish cakes, did soup, Caribbean soup, roast lamb, shortbread, fried dumplings, like all sorts of stuff I was making, isn't it?
Yeah,
And sometimes it wasn't even because I really wanted to eat it. I just wanted something to do.
yeah,
And again, it helped me to like plan. Like I knew, okay, so this Saturday I'm going to make roast lamb. And so it was like a little activity that I was like getting ready and planning for.
And that would normally be the time on a Saturday where you would go out and do something, go meet a friend or something like that. But you got to replace it with something.
Yeah.
Last lockdown, it was impossible to buy flour. You
No,
know,
the
some
first one.
the first lockdown, yeah, it was
Mm,
impossible to buy flour, um, and certain items and things like that. You couldn't find them in
no,
the
you couldn't.
supermarkets. It was possible to get them in the smaller shops though. So don't forget your
Mm,
local shops. Definitely shop there and look for those items. We managed to get eggs, I think, from our
eggs and
local shop
flour.
in the
But I
first.
think I think now in the supermarkets though, people aren't having difficulties buying items.
Yeah, I think um, the flour one may return. You never know.
I don't think so because the supermarkets are putting restrictions on it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Restrictions didn't work the first time though with the toilet paper.
no, no, but they put the restrictions on late.
Yeah.
They waited for people to act mad and then they were like, now we're going to put restrictions on in place. So the fifth and final tip that we have for everyone is be kind to yourself, be kind to your partner, whoever you're living with, your friend, and try not to sweat the small stuff. This is easier said than done. Sometimes you will be with somebody, and because you spend so much time with them, the small things they do irritates you. You look over to your right and you just see them eating. You're like, gosh, the way you're snapping that food in your mouth is so annoying. Or they get up and they walk over to the kitchen. You're like, gosh, the way you walk and the way your foot hits the ground is so heavy. It's so annoying. It's very easy for the small stuff to annoy you because again you spend so much time together, so try to not sweat the small stuff. Try to remember that you're living in unnatural, unhuman times, and be kind to yourself and to your partner
Mm,
as well.
yeah.
As I said before, you are not meant to spend 24 hours with one individual or a group of people.
And I'll say as well that it's Christmas time. We're in lockdown, tier four. So if Christmas cheer makes you feel nice, then do it. Dress up the house, have your tree up, do all the things that you need to do to have like a nice Christmas. And watch the Christmas films. There's plenty of stuff out there right now on Netflix and other things to watch.
And I think it's really important to just to mention around mental health as well. During these times, your mental health can take a real dip. There's a lot of uncertainty at the moment. Things are changing so quickly. From the announcement that we're going to go into, tier three and have Christmas with our loved ones, to then suddenly being shifted to tier four and actually know everything's going to be shut down again and you can't have Christmas again. It has a real impact on our mental health with all the uncertainty and how quickly things shift,
Mm,
anxiety, loneliness, depression, all of that stuff. And if you're somebody who is, struggling with mental health, I just want to say that it's okay. Like, it's okay that you don't feel okay. It's okay that you may want to sit in the room, in your bedroom, or wherever it is, and have a cry because this year has been so hard and has been such a challenging year for people that it's more than okay to feel not okay. I've in ordinary times, but specifically in this year as well. And there's so many organizations that can help you with your mental health if you feel like you need it. And also there's so many people who are out there that you can speak to as well, whether that's your friends or family, or whether that's kind of falling back on some of those charities that are able to help you. Samaritans Mind, um, for example. You can call up numbers and people on the other end of the phone will be more than happy to listen to how you're feeling if you're feeling a little bit low.
mm. And it's also great for friends to call up each other.
100%.
Yeah,
Check in on people. Can't
yeah.
stress this enough. Check in and ask if people are okay. And I tell you what, which I have to remind myself sometimes is that even if people seem okay, when you see them, out and about, or when you talk to them on the phone and stuff like that, they can be like laughing, joking. They have the face on that everything's fine.
Yeah,
And sometimes, people, they're not going to break down in front of you in tears or anything like that. They'll put on a face that things are fine, and then they'll go back home and they will completely break. Just because someone appears okay doesn't mean that they are okay. So again, I just encourage everyone just to reach out to the people that you care about and love and ask them if they're okay.
definitely.
Because sometimes people, when you're feeling really low, and it can be hard to ask for help, and if someone, you need someone to kind of help you have that conversation, or help you initiate that conversation, because you may not feel comfortable to say, hey, I need some help, I'm feeling lonely.
Mm. You could have that. You can go for a walk as well. I feel like that helps your mental health a little bit as well. And go for a walk whilst having a conversation on the phone with a friend and
Clear your head.
clear your head. You know.
The fresh air makes such a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even when we were going on walks during the first lockdown during the summer,
Mm.
it made such a difference just to get out of the house.
Yeah. It does.
And sometimes we wasn't even talking. No, no, do you know what I mean? We was going on like, it was like 40-minute walks. We weren't talking the whole time, but just to be walking next to somebody, just getting some fresh air and stuff, it was really, really good and helpful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we will probably wrap it up there. But just to recap on the tips that we have run through today. So, try to create a list of activities that you want to do in your home, whether this is painting, um, clearing out old clothing, sorting out your garden, whatever it is, a list of activities that you can do that takes up a sizable chunk of your time. Go virtual, think of different ways that you can go virtual, whether that's having a poker night, a games night, something different than the usual quiz and a general talk on Zoom. Third tip, continue to do your hobbies, continue to read if you love reading, continue to play video games if you love that, exercise, or if you don't have loads of hobbies, pick up something new, as Stefan mentioned earlier today. Fourth tip, cook if you're into cooking, learn something new, try out some of the good recipes that are out there. And our final tip is be kind to yourself and try not to sweat the small stuff. Be kind to the people that you live live in the same space as you, and remember that your mental health is really, really important. It's okay to not be okay. um, so try to think of ways that you can kind of help to improve your mental health, and remember that there's different charities out there that can help you in these really difficult times. And a final one, actually, just to add on to that, is self care as well. I know people talk about that all the time. Oh, make sure you do some self care. But whatever it is that makes you feel special and that takes you back to your happy place, try to do some of that. Whether that's painting your nails, getting dressed up, running a bath, or just being on your sofa watching Netflix, Sister, for example. Whatever makes you feel good about yourself, try to do that in these challenging times as well.
We'll wrap it up there.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up there, and we will talk to you all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you have any questions or dilemmas, email us on ordinaryblackprofessionals@gmail.com, or we can be found on Instagram and Twitter at ordinaryblackprofessionals. Also, don't forget to follow us, subscribe, and leave a rating and comment.